Welcome back. It's 38 minutes after 7 p.m. Good evening and welcome once again. Now, obviously, it's time for the next segment. And tonight I'm talking to Bonga Masoka, who is a founder of Splash Africa. And he's got quite an interesting story. Obviously, he started a company that manufactures paint in 2017, and he's now got 14 employees. Right now, Bonga obviously wanted to build a home for his late mother, who stayed in a one-room shack but could not, and he decided to use color to turn other people's houses into homes. And Bonga also had a dream to build a home for his mom. And he says that we live in a country that's got no job opportunities. And we're going to talk to him a bit more regarding his fantastic journey and his inspiration. On the line, we welcome now Bonga Masoka, the founder of Splash Africa. Bonga, good evening, man. Thanks for taking the time. Great to have you with us.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and I couldn't have wished for a better way to spend my Friday evening.
Yeah, well, Friday night with ST. Yeah, great stuff, man. Well, just before we obviously crossed over to you, I was talking to our football correspondent and pundit Len Moleko. I don't know if you are into football, but we were talking about the DSTV Premiership, which is obviously kicking off this weekend. So yeah, there's cracker of matches. Obviously, Amakosi taking on Mamelodi Sundowns, and yeah, there's lots to talk. But anyway, you're obviously a young Joburg entrepreneur. And you've launched a paint brand by yourself. Now, this doesn't just happen overnight. There must have been like some sort of thing that just happened here, right? And obviously, I understand you wanted to build a home for your late mom. Now, talk to us about this, your journey, and who inspired you.
So I think maybe taking it a little bit backwards. I matriculated in small township in Breds called Lekabile. Went to a public school, and just to give you a little bit of a context in terms of that, in my high school, in my grade 12 year in 2010, we had 250 matriculants, and out of that 250, only 7 managed to get into varsity and graduate.
Wow.
And that is the overall background of the South African education system. So I'm just saying this to give you a little bit of context and your viewers and listeners.
Yes.
Where I come from. So I was fortunate enough. I did well. I was fortunate enough to get accepted by UCT. And I enrolled for political sciences, a degree in political sciences. And I think one of the things that pushed me or encouraged me to look at political science, because when you come from such a background, political science is, it's not a conventional.
Well, people are going to say when our rata politiki does that, I know what you're saying.
I used to, people used to say, so you want to be the next Malem or something like that,
And obviously coming from Brits, man, I mean, more not west. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
To go to UCT, people expect you to study medicine, to study law, and all of those things. But I decided to, and I think when I think about it now, I think that I pursued politics because I wanted to understand the context of a South African woman in South Africa. The political context of a South African, because I grew up watching my mom, or waking up at 3 in the morning and going to bed at 9 in the evening just to make ends meet. And for me, that didn't make sense, that she worked this hard and for so many years and could not even afford to build herself a home. And with time, or through studying politics, I learned that women are deprived of resources and core skills that would allow them to build successes for themselves, And luckily, after graduation in 2014, I made a company in 2017 that specializes in the research and development of paint formulations, premium-based paint formulations. And because I was developing another business at the time, I think they liked my strategies towards taking products to
Now,
the shelf.
let's just
Yeah,
hold it there for a sec. Now, you got
yeah,
involved in political sciences. You
yeah,
understood the dynamics of this, and obviously, your late mom, may she rest in peace. Obviously, working hard, grinding from 3 in the morning
yeah,
till 9
yeah,
p.m.
yeah,
And here you are sitting there, studying and understanding life, or thinking we understand life. Now we
yeah,
realize and value what our parents have done for us, how much they
yeah,
sacrifice.
yeah,
Now, obviously the energy and the drive that you need to bring into context here, from a political sciences background to starting your own business,
yeah,
what's some of the big projects you've worked on? I mean, obviously I understand that you wanted to build a home for your late mom,
yeah,
and you're now deciding to use color to turn other people's houses into homes, right?
yeah.
Talk to us about how this journey and your paint company, when it started in 2017, were you endorsed or backed by a bit of government, etc., or did you just go and do a pitch to some financer? How did it all work?
No, I mean, how it started, like I said, that I met a company that was specializing in formulations,
And we've
and
got a comment here. Spiwe Ibrahim Kabin that says, beautiful smile, Bonga. Highly inspirational, my man. We see you, Spiwe. That's a comment coming in on Facebook there. Yeah.
no,
Go on, you
thank
were
you very
saying.
much. I appreciate it. So, how we
Yeah.
initially started was I asked the company to manufacture on my behalf, you know,
Okay.
for me to try and understand the market and the industry in general. So I would drive to Pretoria to pick up one bucket of paint and go to Soweto to paint a 4-bedroom house, just for me
Sure.
to understand the market. So that's how I started. I started off as more or less a middleman, if you could put it that way. Buy a bucket of
Yeah.
paint from the manufacturer, go to the market, paint, and then later on, 2018, I built my own factory. And now we manufacturing almost 200 to 400 liters an hour, 30 minutes.
Wow, man. Now, this obviously quite a lot. I mean, obviously, from humble beginnings. What are some of the projects you've worked on?
I've worked on a school, Morris, I forgot the name of the school in Soweto. That's where Tieti Machining, that's where this 1976 June uprising started in Soweto.
Okay.
That's one of the big projects I've worked on. I've worked on City of Johannesburg. We've repainted some of their building, and most of my projects are more or less residential. Like, for instance, now we're busy with 11 million rand property in Eye of Africa. And I'm mentioning this because remember, paint is about time. The only time that someone can tell or can trust your brand and put it on their walls if it has been tested with time. So here's a young brand that is not known coming out of nowhere and is
Now,
promising 11 million rand property that is going to be as best as your well known.
yeah, I mean, obviously, splash Africa, and I mean, you're making a name for yourself. Talk, I mean, look at you painting an 11 million rand property, and a few years ago, graduating, matriculating out in Brits, the community there, and they must be looking up to you right now and saying, "Hey, man, look at this guy, look at me now." Huh? Now, where do you see yourself? I mean, obviously, 10 years back. You matriculated to 2010. It was the World Cup. Fantastic things happening. You
Yeah,
were studying. 10 years later, you've got your own paint factory going on,
yeah.
CEO, whatnot. Now, where do you see yourself moving forward in another 10 years now?
Yo, in another 10 years, we are definitely in Africa
Hmm.
in the next 10 years. We are one of the top 3 or top 5 paint manufacturers and supplier in the industry. We have built our painting services stores across the country. And we have ventured into other products because, for instance, now we're only making wall coatings. In 10 years from now, we've ventured into road marking. We've ventured into what's this? Uh,
So you're
industrial.
branching off into a bit of contract work, etc. Now,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
no,
ask, right?
definitely.
The question when it comes around black entrepreneurship, because maybe
Yeah,
there's many guys looking at you and saying, okay, look, I'm from an disadvantaged background, or even if you weren't, whatever the case is, right? For other entrepreneurs, they're coming from an African background, right?
Yeah,
What would your words be to them to give them a bit of motivation? Maybe somebody's watching and saying, "Hey, look at this guy, man! I want to be Bonga. My name is Bonga, whoever. I
yeah,
want to be like this guy." What would you say to them? As young entrepreneurs now in the year 2020, amidst this whole COVID thing, leave that behind.
yeah,
What did you
yeah.
say to them?
So I've read a book and called Business Secrets from the Bible, and center focus, or one of the major points the author makes, is that profit is a reward and a motivation. It's a godly reward and motivation to continue serving others, And an advice that I would give to someone who looks up to me is that serve with love, you know. It's irrespective of whether you're saving one person, two people, 100 people, serve with love, and everything else will fall into place, like I said, that I would drive from Joburg Midrand all the way to Bonga Spray to pick up one bucket of paint and then go to Soweto to paint a four-room house, and I didn't have a problem with it because I served with love. I loved what I was doing. So yeah, my message is that save as much as you can, and everything else will fall into place.
Another thing I want to ask, your decision to hire a mainly female workforce,
Yeah.
obviously, what's the driving force behind that?
Um, you know, every time I get asked this question, it came, I mean, and I call them women of color, and the
Mhm.
concept came
I like that.
about from different angles. But one of the most important is that when I started the business and I went around asking friends and family to assist financially or with whatever minimal resources that they had, it was my female friends and female family members who responded to that question. And that's one aspect of it. But the second aspect of it is understanding how women are deprived of ownership of the means of production. And for me to work with women or to try and empower women with access to this industry was mainly to, I mean, I believe that had my mom had resources to build her business, she would have been one of the greatest entrepreneurs or businesswomen. And I feel like a whole lot of women go through the same experiences. I mean, in South Africa today, almost 40% of households are female headed or single woman headed. So you can only imagine how much pain and trouble and women are going through in South Africa today.
Yeah, and there's so much happening apart from woman empowerment in business. There's gender-based violence, and there's so many
Yeah,
challenges. And
yeah,
you make a mention that obviously you drew a bit of inspiration from your mom and her working hours, etc. Looking at the state of entrepreneurship in South Africa,
yeah,
amongst young Black people,
yeah.
what are some of your thoughts in this regard?
I think entrepreneurship is a new, it's a new, I can't say, I don't know if I should say concept or what, but it's a new phenomenon.
Mhm.
We don't come from a history of entrepreneurship, and when I say we, I mean the majority of this country.
Yeah.
And we are more or less the first generation of self-made entrepreneurs. So our journey is basically paving way for the next generation. But as for us, there's there's nothing, we don't have any tools that can or would assist us to navigate the journey of entrepreneurship. And that's why our entrepreneurial culture is not so strong as compared to other countries. And maybe with time we'll get it, provided that we, the current entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, do all the right things and, you
Now,
know,
on this point about
yeah.
young entrepreneurship, do you think government is doing enough to empower and help the youth, or do you think more initiatives need to be put in place, more information, etc.? What do you think they can do better?
I think the government is playing its part. And I would say this because to access assistance from the government, you need to be formal first and foremost, or
Okay.
predominantly you need to be formal. And formal, I mean, be a registered entity, have financial statements. And I could tell you now that most of the businesses, you could even argue that 90%, whoever has the statistics could probably back this up, that almost 90% of businesses in South Africa that are youth owned are informal, and that is the first hindrance to you accessing capital or some form of assistance from the government. So the
Yeah.
government is sitting and waiting for us to ask for assistance, but we don't have the structures or we don't have businesses that would allow us to ask for this assistance in the first place. So maybe from the government, the part that they need to play is making some kind of an awareness campaign that this is how you should run your business. These are the kind of tools that we need for you to access our assistance.
Now I want to ask something.
Yeah,
Obviously, coming from a political sciences background, now you're getting your overall dirty and all painted out, etc. Do you
yeah.
enjoy that aspect of work, or are you standing behind the scenes, foreman, and just delegating to
If
people?
I could send you pictures from today, I'm literally painting our studio alone,
Okay.
because all the guys are at work. So I just got home now and I was
Yeah.
looking at how all my clothes, the amount like paint that I had on my clothes, and thinking to myself, the artist in me is still alive. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I'm an artist, I think, first and foremost, before a political science student. I mean, I dropped out of high school in, I don't remember the year, but after grade 9, went and studied graphic design and painting, at an FET in Central Johannesburg College. And so the artist in me is still alive, I suppose. But I do get dirty. I'm painting huge square meters today, alone.
Awesome stuff, man. Now tell me the biggest challenge you faced
Yeah.
in starting up and running your own business. I mean, you mentioned obviously manufacturing this in 2017, 3 years later. What was some of your biggest challenges that you experienced?
Um, Resources, and often people talk about capital in a form of money as a core or a primary resource that
Yeah.
businesses need. But for me, at some point, or when I started, it was not even about capital. It was not even about monetary. It was more resources. Like for instance, I all I needed when I started was a buggy. I'm just giving a typical example, and I couldn't
Fantastic.
afford
Get the
that.
items up and down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And surely money would assist you to buy that. But if
Yeah.
I had that resource, it would have taken me a long way. But I had to struggle for a very long time to raise capital to buy that. And access, I don't think I've had a problem with access to market. I think capital was the major problem, coming to think of it now.
Okay.
In the
And
form of, yeah,
in obviously concluding now, obviously
yeah.
Splash Africa is obviously now one of the big five in the country in terms of paint, etc. Where exactly can people get your product and your social media handles, etc. For those interested in expanding their horizons and looking at your offerings?
Yeah. We are opening a store in Midrand, North
Okay.
Bay. It's in Shantytown. You can just Google Shantytown. We hoping that before the end of November, the store should be up and running. And besides that, you can buy the paint from us directly. Log on to our website, www.splashafrica, Africa with a K.co.za. And yeah, reach out to us. There's a WhatsApp handle on the side that you can just type, and the message will come directly to me.
Awesome stuff, man. Bonga, been great chatting with you, man. And thanks for obviously taking the time. You have yourself an awesome weekend, and yeah, paint the town, man, as they say.
Thank you very much, my
Awesome
brother.
stuff, man.
We in
Good stuff.
Splash say we painting color in people's lives. So
Oh, yeah, man, that's awesome stuff, man. Bonga Masoka, founder of Splash Africa. Thank you for your time tonight. Have a wonderful
thank you
one.
very much, brother. Have a blessed one.
Cheers, man. And thanks, Spiwe Ibrahim Nkabinde. Shoprawaka, your multilingual skills is tops. Thanks, my man. Yeah, well, it's great stuff, man. Thank you for that recognition there as well. Anyway, having said that, it's 1 minute to 8 p.m. Wow, can you believe it? Coming up next is an ad break, and thereafter I chat to Jan van Malen. Now, on the Tech Talk segment tonight, we're talking about Netflix users and DSTV subscribers who might have to now cough up a bit more to pay your TV licenses. We want your thoughts on that. Send through your comments on 0617660355 and tell us what exactly are your thoughts surrounding this topic. We'll be back after this.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media, your humanitarian broadcaster.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design.
Sadek.
Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure
Sadek.
diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Boda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and Visa card calculation. Visit
Most important meal of the day, yet many children go to school hungry because of poverty. Penny Appeal's Breakfast Club aim to get a warm, hearty meal to underprivileged children so they can spend the day prospering in their schoolwork. Help feed a needy learner by visiting our website on www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573 to find out how you can donate. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Osman's Taj Mahal Spice and Rice. For over 80 years, Osman's Taj Mahal have been perfecting the art of the perfect blend of spices, pure, aromatic, and well-seasoned. Spices to tantalize your taste buds. From creative cuisines to gastronomical gourmet goodies. From exotic odors to traditional dishes, Osman's Taj Mahal have remained synonymous with quality spices and condiments. Taj Mahal rice, beans, and lentils. Try our range of chili bite mixes, rose and ilachi syrup, our quick and easy biryani pack, and our traditional range of spice blends. Osman's Taj Mahal. There is no substitute for quality.
This is a paid-for advert by Al Jamar, calling on the community of Lenasia to vote for Al Jamar on the upcoming by-elections. The Al Jamar party will be represented by their candidate Imran Musa, who intends contesting Ward 9 for the November 11th by-elections. Visit our website aljamar.co.za for more information.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to